Welcome to Revise and Resubmit, where we take cutting-edge research and try to break it down so you don't have to. I'm Pavlov, and with me as always,
Nikita.
All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're going deep on something kind of puzzling.
Yeah.
It's about why those big institutional investors, the ones, the real heavy hitters in finance,
Right.
they seem hesitant, kind of cautious about family businesses.
Interesting.
And you'd think, right, family businesses, they often do really well.
Yeah, they do.
They're in it for the long haul, really invested, So why wouldn't these big investors be all over that? Well, to figure this out, we're going to use this research paper from 2025.
Okay.
It's called, get this, Groupthink, Institutional Investors and Family Firm Heterogeneity.
Catch.
Now, before you think, oh no, this is going to be all equations and stuff, don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll break down the important stuff, make it make sense.
Exactly. And, family businesses, they're a big deal in our economy, a cornerstone, really.
For sure.
So understanding how they connect with investors is really important, right?
Absolutely.
So these researchers, they really dug deep. They looked at S&P 500 companies, trying to find patterns.
I love a good puzzle. Like, why wouldn't investors want a piece of that? Family businesses, they often outperform everyone else.
Well, there's this idea about agency costs.
Okay.
Think of it like a rowing team, right? Everyone needs to be pulling their weight, going the same direction, not trying to, steer the boat off course.
Makes sense.
So in a business, you want the managers and the owners to have the same goals.
Right, aligned.
Yeah, exactly. And family businesses, they're usually good at this, right? Lower agency costs because they're so personally invested.
Take care.
But then there's this other thing, type 2 agency costs.
Type 2.
It's where families might, put their own needs ahead of other investors.
Ah, I see. So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly. The family dedication is great, but it could make some investors nervous.
And that's where I think this groupthink idea comes in, right? From the research paper.
Right, yeah.
I've totally seen that happen. Everyone just agrees. No one wants to rock the boat, even if they have doubts.
Like that awkward silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what they're talking about?
Exactly. Imagine like a board meeting. Right. And no one wants to disagree, especially not with family.
Oh, can you imagine?
That can really stifle creativity, lead to bad choices.
When no one wants to be the bad guy.
And investors, especially the big ones, they want to know their opinions matter.
Of course, they're putting in the money.
Right. And that the company is open to new ideas.
So did the research actually find that family businesses have a harder time getting these big investors?
It did, yeah.
Really?
They looked at the data and there was a definite pattern. Back in 2003, the average S&P 500 family business, it had way less investment from institutions compared to businesses that weren't family run.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is.
So what's the answer here? Can family businesses get rid of this groupthink problem and still attract those big investors they need to really grow?
Well, the researchers, they give some pretty good advice.
Okay.
It's like a 3-ingredient recipe to, fight groupthink and make family businesses more appealing.
Okay, I love a good recipe. Lay it on me.
All right, first up, diversity.
Okay.
Having a board of directors with folks from different backgrounds with different experiences, that makes for better discussions, better decisions, right?
Okay, good mix.
Yeah, like a team of experts, each with their own unique...
Perspective.
Exactly. And guess what? The research found that boards with more ethnic diversity, they actually had a weaker negative connection between family involvement and those big investments.
So more voices, more opinions actually makes investors more comfortable.
Right, it's about balance.
That's really interesting.
The second ingredient is what they call shorter tenure.
Shorter tenure.
Yeah, so you might think experience is everything, right?
I would think so.
But having board members who haven't been there forever, they bring fresh eyes, new ways of thinking, not afraid to challenge things.
Shake things up a bit.
And the research found that the longer a director's been on a board, the less likely a family business is to get those big investors.
Makes sense. You don't want to get stuck in a rut.
No. And the final ingredient.
Okay, drum roll, please.
Busy boards.
Wait, busy boards? How can that be a good thing? If they're already busy with other things.
I know, right? It sounds a little strange.
Wouldn't they be spread too thin?
But think about it. If board members are involved in other companies, they bring all that experience, right? And they're less likely to get caught up in just the family business's way of doing things.
So it's like they're bringing in outside knowledge, kind of like mini consultants almost.
Yeah, exactly. Constantly learning new things and bringing those ideas back to the family business.
I like it. But did the research actually show that busy boards are good for business?
They did. Their analysis showed that having these busy board members actually helped weaken that negative link between family involvement and getting those big investments.
So we've got our recipe: diversity, shorter tenure, and busy boards.
Exactly.
Add in a little open-mindedness, and I bet family businesses could really take off.
I think so.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than just the boardroom, right? What else did they find?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely more to it.
I bet.
There are things family businesses can do outside of the boardroom to really stand out to investors.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Let's talk about it after a quick break.
Okay, so thinking about these investors, right? They've got tons of options.
Yeah, so many choices.
What makes a family business, really stand out to them?
Well, the research found some interesting things family businesses can do even outside the boardroom.
Okay, I like it. Outside the boardroom.
Things that can make a big difference, like shareholder voting rights.
Voting rights.
You know, as an investor, you want to feel like your voice matters.
Oh, absolutely.
Strong voting rights that shows the family is open to what other people think, right?
Yeah, they're willing to share some control.
Yeah, let investors have a say in the company's direction.
It's like having a seat at the table, not just watching from the sidelines.
Exactly.
Oh.
But I get it. Some families might not love that idea, giving up control.
Makes sense. It's their baby.
Right. It's all about balance. Another thing that's huge is transparency.
Especially when it comes to their finances. Imagine you're thinking about investing, but their financial records are kind of shady.
No way. That's a red flag for sure.
Right. You want to know what you're getting into.
Absolutely. Transparency builds trust.
Right. When a family business is upfront about how they're doing financially, it shows they're not hiding anything.
They're being honest.
And it shows they're committed to doing things the right way.
So it all ties back to that groupthink idea.
It does, yeah.
Transparency helps investors feel like decisions aren't being made in secret.
Exactly. It helps everyone feel good about things.
But let's talk about the family part of family businesses,
Okay.
The research, did it talk about how family dynamics play into all this? How investors see them?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Okay, tell me.
They found something interesting about the ages of the family members involved.
Ages?
Yeah, having generations working in the business, that can actually be a good sign for investors.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that.
I know, right? It's kind of counterintuitive. Why is that?
Well, when you have younger family members alongside the older generation, it usually means there are more diverse viewpoints.
Oh, I see. They bring different ideas to the table.
Exactly. A more dynamic way of making decisions. It's like a built-in check against getting stuck in old ways of doing things.
So it's a good sign that the family is, evolving.
Keeping up with the times.
Adapting.
Exactly. It's about balance, right?
We've talked a lot about the downsides of family influence, but aren't there some good things too?
Oh, for sure.
Don't they bring something unique to the table?
Absolutely. Family businesses, they often have this deep sense of legacy.
They're building something that will last.
Exactly. A long-term vision that you don't always see with, public companies.
That makes sense. They're not just in it for a quick buck.
And they're known for having strong values.
Putting people first.
Yeah, commitment to employees, to their community.
It's that passion that often makes them so successful.
Right. So how do you balance those good things with the need to avoid groupthink and, attract those investors?
It's like walking a tightrope, isn't it?
It is. Finding that sweet spot where family values and good business practices can work together.
I bet that's where things get tricky.
Yeah, sometimes.
How do you bring in outsiders without stepping on the family's toes?
Right. The research didn't really give specific answers for those family dynamics.
Okay.
But it emphasized independent voices on the board, like a big deal.
So bringing in people from outside the family?
People with expertise, especially in areas where the family might not be as strong.
It's like filling the gaps.
Yeah, complementing the family's strengths and giving them a fresh perspective.
So it's about finding the right people for the job, family or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not just about checking boxes, It's about building relationships.
Yeah, making sure those independent board members feel valued, feel like they can speak their mind.
That's even if they disagree with the family. Exactly. But it's not just about the board either, right? Investors can play a part too.
Oh, that's interesting. How so?
They can help make sure good governance is happening and help prevent groupthink.
So investors need to be more than just passive bystanders.
Exactly. What can they do to make sure their voices are heard and that the family businesses they're investing in are making good choices?
That's a great question. So it sounds like investors, they really have a chance to make a difference here.
Yeah, they do.
It's not just about giving money, it's about being involved. What does that actually look like?
Well, first things first, they got to do their homework.
Research due diligence.
Yeah, before investing in a family business, really understand them,
Yeah.
History, their values, how they do things.
Look under the hood.
Exactly. Check out their board, see how transparent they are, if they're open to outside opinions.
So like extra careful due diligence because family businesses are, well, different.
Right, exactly.
What are some warning signs investors should watch out for?
Okay, big one. A board that's all family members.
Oh yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that could mean they don't want anyone else's input.
Makes sense.
Another one is lack of transparency, especially with their money stuff.
If they're being secretive, something's probably up.
Right. Transparency builds trust, and that's super important for any investment.
Absolutely.
But let's say an investor finds a family business that looks good, diverse board, strong leadership, open about their finances.
The golden ticket.
Right. How do they make sure that relationship stays good for the long haul?
That's the million-dollar question.
Communication is key.
Yep.
Investors should talk to the family, the board, make sure everyone's on the same page about expectations and concerns.
It's regular check-ins.
Yeah. And it's important to respect the family's history, their values.
But also not be afraid to speak up if something seems off.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance,
Support, but also accountability.
Exactly. It's a little tricky, but when it works, it really works.
The rewards can be big, right?
Oh, yeah. Family businesses, they often have this unique mix, stability, long-term thinking, and they're not afraid to take risks.
That entrepreneurial spirit.
But investors got to be smart, understand both the good and the bad.
For sure. Eyes wide open.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
I agree. Super insightful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of, the whole picture of family businesses.
Me too.
Before we go, any final thoughts for our listeners? Something they should really remember.
I think the most important thing is don't underestimate different perspectives.
Different points of view.
Whether you're running the business, on the board, or an investor, it's so important to get different opinions.
Challenge those assumptions.
Exactly. Be open to feedback. Create a space where everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas.
That's how you avoid groupthink, make good decisions, and build something that lasts.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a good reminder that we all have blind spots, and sometimes the best ideas come from the most unexpected places.
That's so true.
So to everyone listening, whether you're part of a family business, investing in one, or just interested in this whole world, keep your minds open.
Yeah, be open to new ideas.
And thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, everyone. And don't forget to subscribe to Revise and Resubmit on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for more captivating deep dives like this one. And if you're enjoying the show and want to support us in creating more insightful content, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Every contribution helps us continue this journey of exploration and discovery. Until next time, keep those minds curious, keep questioning, and keep revising and resubmitting.